Have you noticed huge water tanks inside and outside the temples? Do you know why they were built and for what purpose? And above all, did you know that is the first place that you need to go before you enter the temple? Let's look at these things and many more in this video. Namaskaram. In this video of Know Your Culture, in the temple series, we are looking at water tanks in the temple. These are called by different names: Pushkarnis, Kund, Sarovar, Tirth, Teppakulam, Koyilkulam, and many more names. Pushkarnis or temple water tanks, it's a part of the temple architecture, and they are designed in such a way that they are present either before the major Gopuram, the main entrance, or just after the Gopuram, so as to enable people to allow to have a bath before they enter the energy sphere, which is the Kshetra. In this culture, bath or snan is considered very important. Why I have to say this is, I was just searching on the net about what studies have been done regarding bath. There is elaborate research which has happened. The researchers are talking about the benefits of taking bath. They have done research on a shower bath, on an immersed bath, bath in a river, bath in a pond, things like that. Bath is such an integral part of our life that we didn't know that people have to be told that you need to take bath daily. People who are in the process of exploring their own system and going deeper within, they have always been advised to take an early morning bath before Brahma Muhurta, and then Brahma Muhurta being 3:40 to 6, again by noon, and then again evening before evening Sandhya. The shower was not a part of this culture. If you are taking bath in your house using vessel and pouring it over your body, then the container where you have the water, they suggest that you draw a triangle with your index finger and a bija mantra, or invoking all the sacred rivers, Ganga, Yamuna, Narmada, Saraswati, Kaveri. There is a shloka, I will just put that on the slide. This is recited. This is like invoking all the sacred waters in this land to be present in this vessel from which you are going to take bath. Also adding a pinch of turmeric to it, or adding neem leaves to it, or a little bit of rock salt. All this also has been prescribed in the Ayurvedic texts. These researchers have revealed how a person with anxiety or tension or the mood fluctuations before and after bath is very visible in these researches. Another interesting thing that the research found out was compared to the shower bath, when you do an immersion bath, they found that the skin was absorbing water. This increased blood flow and also increased metabolic waste elimination from the body as well. A bath completely changes your mental state and prepares you towards whatever sadhana or practices or puja or chanting that you are going to do. Before entering the temple, when people take bath and they don't wipe themselves dry, they just wear a vastra. I'm sure people who have visited South Indian temples would have noticed this, especially in Kerala, that you have to wear a dhoti before you enter the temple. Why this is prescribed is the energy flow in the system is free flowing when you are wearing unstitched cloth. So a dhoti is an unstitched cloth, and angavastra, which is worn on top of the body, which is also unstitched. Similarly for women, sari is of course an unstitched cloth. This is what is worn before you enter that kshetra or the energy space. The biggest water tank or temple tank is found in Sri Rajagopala Swami temple. This is a Vishnu temple in Mannargudi in Tamil Nadu. This is spread over 23 acres. This is fed by the rainwater which is being collected. This temple also has 9 other sacred ponds within each prakara or layers. Kamalalayam water tank, which is in Tiruvarur temple. Kamalalayam tank covers around 16 acres. Other major tanks like the Kapaleshwarar temple in Chennai covers almost 6 acres, which is situated in the central part of the city. Most of these ancient temple water tanks, the Pushkarnis, are associated with some story from the Itihasas and Puranas. Some of the water tanks are associated with healing properties, like people with diseases, chronic ailments can also come out of it, and which the research which I was going through also was suggesting the same, that there is a visible difference in the health of the skin, even the heart and the lungs functioning over a period of time when regular bath is taken. This is just the physical thing that they have measured, but if they are consecrated in a certain way, like the Vaiteswaran Koil, the Vaiteswaran Koil itself is designed for healing, which is situated near Chidambaram. It's very interesting to notice that even during summers, when the water levels go down in other water bodies like ponds and lakes, the temple water tank retains its level. So the selection of the land for building a temple becomes very important. They identify if there is a spring or an aqueduct which connects to a nearby water body like a lake or a pond, and then the temples are constructed. The detailing of how water harvesting happens inside huge temples, if you notice, not even any stagnation of water happens during heavy rains. Sophisticated mechanism of water harvesting and engineering can be observed. This was also used by people when there was scarcity of water, there was drought. The water tank, which never dried up, was always used for domestic purposes by the villages or by the town. The purposes of building this, apart from people taking bath in that, there is also Pushkarnis or water bodies which are exclusively only for taking water for Abhishekam or for giving bath or washing the central deity. Other people are not allowed to enter or venture into that tank, or it's not used for any other purpose. Similarly, there are temple tanks, there are water bodies inside where the rituals for the departed, the ancestors, are conducted. The Pitru Paksha rituals are conducted. The Pitru Paksha rituals are usually conducted near water bodies. The Vahubali, which happens in Kerala, in Trivandrum on the Shankamukam beach, and many other beaches, and also near rivers, near the Parashuram temple, which is by a river. And of course in the north, when you do Pitru Paksha at Allahabad by the Ganga, at the Triveni Sangam, or in Kashi, it's always by a sacred water body. When these Pushkarnis are constructed and consecrated along with the temple, the sacred rivers are invoked and they are consecrated in such a way that the benefit of taking bath in Ganga, that quality is brought into these water bodies, so that people who cannot go every time to Ganga can perform their rituals here, can take bath here and still get the benefit of taking a Ganga Snan. There are other rituals performed by initiates who stand in waist deep water or chest deep water, and then they perform rituals, Gayatri Mantra or other things that they have been initiated into. I met a Tantric Baba in Kashi who was initiated into the Dasa Mahavidyas. He has been initiated into a process where he needs to have his feet immersed in Ganga and do recitation of certain mantra for 1.5 hours. So even if we are not initiated in any of these things, one basic thing that we see is that taking a cold water bath in the early mornings and then starting your pujas or sadhana or practices will be greatly beneficial. In terms of what happens to the pranic body or the energy body, is that it gets freshened up, it gets receptive, it becomes ready to receive whatever the energies are there. Now we have taken a bath and known about the significance of the Gopuram and Kalasha, and now as we enter the Kshetra, let's look at each of the elements, what they mean and what we should do inside the temple. Namaskara.